It's Game 7 tonight, Oilers fans, and we've got a few roster notes. We've heard from some Oilers stars, and I'm going to get to all that. But first, please hit the subscribe button to help us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers here on Oilers Digest. Let's get right into it. Yesterday from sunrise, the Edmonton Oilers took line rushes without one star player as Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was absent. However, Kris Knoblauch told reporters after that he would play in Game 7, alleviating any concerns. Without Ryan Nugent-Hopkins in the lineup, the lines looked like this. Evander Kane, likely a placeholder for Nugent-Hopkins on that first line, playing with Connor McDavid and Zach Hyman. Warren Foegele and Dylan Holloway have both elevated their play of late. Foegele scored in Game 6, and they'll flank Leon Draisaitl on the second line. Matthias Janmark, Adam Henrique, and Connor Brown have all been playing very well the last couple games. Henrique and Janmark themselves combined for a goal in Game 6 as well. They're going to skate together on the third line. Ryan McLeod, Derek Ryan, and Corey Perry skate as the fourth line, as usual on the back end. Matthias Ekholm's on the top pairing with Evan Bouchard, followed by Darnell Nurse and Philip Broberg. Lastly, Brett Kulak with Cody Ceci. As far as the Panthers go, we're going to see one change to the bottom six, with Kyle Okposo swapping out Nick Cousins. At Florida's practice yesterday, Sergei Bobrovsky was not out on the ice, sparking some speculation that his status in Game 7 might be in question, but Paul Maurice said after practice that this was a planned day off for Bobrovsky, and he will be ready to go for tonight. As far as some more Ryan Nugent-Hopkins context goes, Jim Matheson reported in the Edmonton Journal that Nugent-Hopkins was just, quote, under the weather and that his Game 7 involvement was never in jeopardy. Knoblauch also added some context to the gravity of Monday for RNH, pointing out how that day, or today at this point, marks 13 years to the day that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was picked first overall by the Edmonton Oilers. As you'll all probably remember, Nugent-Hopkins was the second of 3 consecutive first overall picks by Edmonton. He was preceded by Taylor Hall and then followed by Nail Yakupov. We don't need to get into how Hall or Yakupov turned out for the Oilers, but Nugent-Hopkins has grown into one of Edmonton's leaders and one of their most crucial players. He scored just shy of 700 points in 881 regular season games with the team, and this season in the playoffs, he's got 7 goals and 21 points through 23 playoff games. He scored a huge goal in Game 7 against Vancouver, and you gotta say you don't know that Edmonton would be here right now if not for the contributions of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. He's been a warrior for the Oilers, and tonight is truly what his 13 years as an Edmonton Oiler have all been leading up to. The Oilers' media availability yesterday brought out some insight into what must be going through the heads of these Edmonton players going into what is no doubt the biggest game of their lives. Stuart Skinner took his opportunity to say that it's, quote, literally taken every guy in our room to get into a position like this. Skinner has been sensational in the last 3 games, as he's been throughout the whole playoffs, specifically when Edmonton's survival has been on the line. When asked about his preparation, Connor McDavid said, quote, you got to make it as ordinary as possible in your head. A part of that is just sticking to your routine. Today must be the longest day of these Oilers players' lives. This is a massive, massive game of hockey in isolation, but you got to also consider what's on the line here for both teams. On one side, you've got the Florida Panthers, who lost in last year's Stanley Cup final. They had a 3-0 stranglehold on this year's final, but they've lost 3 consecutive games. They've let 3 different chances to end this series and win the cup pass them by. On the other hand, the Edmonton Oilers can complete one of the greatest comebacks in professional sports memories. It's all going to come down to this. Game 7 is going to be 6 o'clock local time in Edmonton, and much like all you, I can't wait.